Welcome to the Meditation Realm, Planeswalkers. I'm Caleb, your guide to the Blind Eternity, and in today's video we got one of the Brother Wars Commander deck. We're going to be opening up Urza's Iron Alliance. We're going to go through and check out the new cards for a little bit and just kind of appreciate the fact that we're going retro frame. I like that they did this for the Commander set. And these also come with the Collector Sample Pack, which I'm going to open up the Collector Sample Pack in a separate video, because we got one for each of the Commander decks. I'll do a short one and open both of them up and see how lucky we get later. So they give us the usual Commander deck box, your die, spin down thing, your notes. And the box has some counters on it. A little more useful than last time. They're actual counters and not just little tokens that have a magic symbol on it. You got 3 flying counters and then 6 1/1 counters on these things. So nice. It's cool. We'll go ahead and set those aside. Alright, let's go ahead and get opening on this. I found it, again, very interesting and unique that they decided to go full retro frame for these Commander decks. If you haven't picked up one yet, I highly recommend it, just for the sheer fact that we're going full retro. Alright, we got one of the face of the Commander card. We got Urza, the Chief Artificer. He's a 6-drop 4/5 with affinity for artifact creatures. Artifact creatures you control have menace. At the beginning of your end step, create a 0/0 colorless construct artifact creature token. With this creature gets +1/+1 for each artifact you control. This guy's just going to be easy throw into any Esper artifact deck. Yeah, you can build around him. He'll probably be pretty good. Making tokens every turn is really strong. And then affinity for artifact creatures and Commander means you're going to be playing him for cheap, even with the Commander tax all the time. We have Tawnos, the Solemn Survivor. A 2-drop 1/3, you can tap him and pay 2 to create a token that's a copy of up to 1 target artifact you control, and then you mill 2 cards. And then for 1 in Esper colors, you can tap him, sacrifice 2 artifact tokens, exile an artifact or creature card from your graveyard, create a token that's a copy of the exiled card, except it's an artifact in addition to its other types. Activate only as a sorcery. Alright, now we're getting good reprints. We got Swords to Plowshares, Filigree Attendant, Whirler Rogue, Armix Filigree Thrasher, D-Spark, always decent removal, Chief of the Foundry, Cranial Plating, Liquid Metal Torque, an Upside Down card, Slimmer Dragon, Relic of Progenitus, Skull Clamp, always a good staple for Commander. Speaking of staples for Commander, and to get this in a retro frame too, I know a lot of people are going to be excited to be able to play with retro Soul Rings. I definitely recommend buying these if you haven't yet. Again, Swiftfoot Boots in the retro frame, Thought Vessel, Arcane Sanctum, Azorius Chancery, Darksteel Citadel, Dimir Aqueduct, Orzhov Basilica. Alright, now we're on to some of the new stuff. So we got a 2-drop 3/1 legendary creature, Samwell, the Avenger Ace. As long as an artifact creature you control is attacking, prevent all damage that will be dealt to Samwell, the Avenger Ace. Whenever Samwell becomes tapped, exile the top 6 cards of your library. You may cast a vehicle or artifact creature spell from among them. Put the rest on the bottom of your library in any order. Well, that's pretty good. Easy throw into the vehicle decks. You use them to crew, and then you get more card advantage by getting those extra vehicles or artifacts to your hand. Artifact creatures, specifically. Or being able to cast them. You don't get them to your hand. But still, that's card advantage for white, which is pretty good. We have the Scholar of New Horizons. 2-drop 1/1. It enters the battlefield with a 1/1 counter on it. And you can remove a counter from a permanent you control, search your library for a Plains card and reveal it. If an opponent controls more lands than you, you may put that card onto the battlefield tapped. If you don't put that card on the battlefield, put it into your hand, then shuffle. So another white ramp option card. The fact that you can remove a counter from any permanent is pretty strong. You don't have to just remove the 1/1 counter from him, but it at least gives you 1 off him. March of Progress. Sorcery for 2 and a blue. Choose target artifact creature you control. For each creature chosen this way, create a token that's a copy of it. So for 7 mana with Overload, you get to copy copy of every one of your artifact creatures. That's pretty strong. We have Wire Surgeon. It's a 6-drop, 6/5 with Fear. Each artifact creature card in your graveyard has Encore. Its Encore cost is equal to its mana cost. Well, there you go. Some more graveyard shenanigans. That's some value there. We have a Wreck Hunter, a 2/2 for 2 black with Flash. When Wreck Hunter enters the battlefield, choose target player. You create a tapped Power Stone token for each non-land card put into that player's graveyard. For each non-land card in that player's graveyard that was put there from the battlefield this turn. So you can play this right after your own Wrath or after your opponent's Wrath and just get several tapped Power Stone tokens. That's a great way to ramp up. And it's decently cost, a 2/2 with Flash for 2 black. I think this guy might be a sleeper and see a lot of play. Hexavus, flying 6-drop, 0/0, enters battlefield with 6/1 counters on it. You can pay 1 to remove a 1/1 counter from them to put a flying counter on another target creature. And you can remove a counter from another creature you control to put a 1/1 counter on Hexavus. So he can spread flying counters, and you can remove counters from other stuff to put 1/1 counters back on them. Okay. We got Kayla's Music Box. 2-drop artifact that has legendary and has white and tap it. Look at the top card of your library, then exile it face down. And then it also has tap it. Until end of turn, you may play cards you own exiled with Kayla's Music Box. Personally, I think this is going to be one of the first cards that you'll take out of the deck. It's really slow card advantage. It's every other turn you get to play a card from exile with it, which is not that strong, even in mono white decks. There are definitely better options in this. Thopter Shop, 3-drop artifact. Whenever 1 or more artifact creatures you control die, draw a card. This ability triggers only once each turn. And for 2 and a white, you can tap it to create a 1/1 colorless Thopter artifact creature token with flying. So easy just to have your tokens die and trade its blocking and combats, and then just keep drawing more cards. Seems like it'll be good. Alright, now we got back to more reprints. We got Indomitable Archangel, Aethersworn Adjudicator, Noxious Gearhulk, Ayla, the Artful Provocateur, Sphinx's Revelation, in the retro frame and a new art. Like it. Angel of the Ruins, Austere Command, Bronze Guardian, Dig Site Engineer, Luciel, Clockwork Scholar, Phyrexian Rebirth, Tempered Steel, Teshar, Ancestor's Apostle, Unbreakable Formation, Urza's Ruinous Blast, Bident of Thassa in the retro frame and in a new art. We have Master of Ethereum, One with the Machine, Sai, Master Thopterist, Sharding Sphinx, Thopter Spy Network, Thought Monitor in the retro. Nice. Vidalcan Humiliator. Everything in this retro, again, is so sweet. 3/4 with Metalcraft. When he attacks, if you control 3 or more artifacts, creatures your opponents control lose all abilities and have base power and toughness 1/1 until end turn. Well, that's a good way for you to swing in and just nerf out everything ahead. Oh, your opponent had a bunch of dragons blocking the way, and they're gone. They just won once. Marionette Master. Baleful Strix, always a good commander staple. Sharoom used to be the main commander for Artifact Esper decks. Vindicate, always good removal. Darksteel Juggernaut. Etched Champion. The Myr Battlesphere. Solemn Simulacrum. Steel Hellgate. Steel Overseer. Exotic Orchard. Prairie Stream. And yeah, seeing all these lands in that retro frame is so sweet. I'm looking forward to playing a lot of these in decks. River of Tears, Skycloud Expanse, Spire of Industry, Sunken Hollow, Temple of Deceit, Temple of Enlightenment, and Temple of Silence. And we got an Ethereum Sculptor, Preordain, Chrome Courier, Arcane Signet in that retro frame. Again, I'm telling you guys, this is going to be a good pickup for Commander players. Azorius Signet, Dimir Signet, Orzhov Signet, Ancient Den, and New Art in retro frame. And the Ash Barrens, Bujuku Bog, Command Tower, Evolving Wilds, Goldmire Bridge, Mistvault Bridge, Path of Ancestry, Razortide Bridge, Seat of the Synod in that New Art. Oh, it's so pretty. Such a big fan of these. Again, I'm wondering if how much value these decks are going to have a couple years down the road because they're just full retro frames. And with some new art. Vault of Whispers. And then we got our basics. We got Plains. Yeah, at least they kind of buried it up a little bit on the Plains art. And then we got Island. Swamp. Okay, and then we got our Thick back. And then we got the tokens, which should have also been in retro frame. Just saying. That would have been pretty sweet. But it's got all your general tokens. None of them in the retro frame. Talking about missed opportunities. Well, an interesting deck. Again, I could see this being very popular. Artifacts are always an easy mainstay. And just the sheer fact, again, that this is all retro is going to be a huge take for Commander players that have been playing for a while. Just because it hits that nostalgia button real hard. And some beautiful new art on some of those stuff, too. It's hard to pass by. Thanks for joining me, Planeswalkers. Always happy to have you here. If you haven't already, like, share, subscribe. Tell your friends about the channel. I'm hoping to be able to start putting up more content going up into 2023. Thank you for joining me, and I'll see you here on the next video.